Right, you guys, welcome to the week. How are you? Happy Easter, Passover, wherever you are right now in the world. Sending love and peace your way. Let's see what wants to come through the reading today. This is a reading for whoever needs to hear this message. As I go through this reading, I will talk about I just got this real big blast of I'm going to make sure you know that this is your reading. Okay? Sometimes people watch readings and they try to poke themselves in here and there, but for whoever this reading is, you're going to be sure that it's yours. That's one of the things that is coming through loud and clear. There's something about intuition getting stronger. Your intuition's getting stronger. You're starting to trust it now. Okay? That's definitely part of who this reading is for. Veiled. I'm seeing the divine masculine under here, and I'm going to take that. Spiritual cleansing, relief, and the key, talisman. What this is really about is, what this is really about is some of you are holding back. This is for a divine masculine necessarily who may be holding back feelings, holding back their energies. I feel like I'm talking to, though, a collective of divine feminines who are interested in what is going on with that twin flame. That may be part of this reading in a big way. I feel like the bigger part of this reading, though, for the divine feminines is really about you trusting your intuition, learning to trust your intuition. And what that means is that you are not second guessing yourself, telling yourself that you're just making it up, it's not real, and not being around people who say that to you. You're going to have to move away from those people. I was definitely around somebody like that on Friday evening who was giving me very clear, it was almost pointed. And I wasn't really even in a direct conversation, but this person was talking and then they would say things about feminine energy and they were looking right at me. And I was like, wow, this person has some very deep concerns about their own feminine side, about their own feminine energy, something like that. Okay, so let's see. Or that they are a divine feminine, something along those lines, making them very nervous or making them very upset, or I don't know. But I definitely was like, wow, that's right, aimed at me. Holy cow. Divine masculine and veiled. A veiled toxicity or veiled. It's okay. I just want you to understand this. This is not about someone being, oh, they're super toxic, can't be around them. This is about someone who's trying to reach out and say, I don't really understand what's going on with me. Okay. I don't really understand what's going on with me. 8 of Pentacles, the Justice card, the 7 of Pentacles, Judgment. Wow. Justice and Judgment, and the King of Wands. This person is, look at that. There's definitely, I'm talking to a collective of divine feminines. Again, I want to reiterate this. Some of you have been waiting a long time to talk to this divine masculine or to connect with them. What I'm seeing for you is that I like what you have done. I like that you have moved forward. I like that you've been working on your own intuition, your own connecting with your spirit guides, whatever you've been doing. I just want to validate that for you, that has been the right thing to do. This does feel like a very nice balanced energy. There is someone coming in here who still has some raggedy edges, someone who's not aware of their own masculine power. And if they are aware of it, it's almost like they in the past have misused it. But boy, have they paid for that. Okay, this person has really paid for that. So for you, darlings, keep doing what you're doing. You've invested a lot of time and effort into your spiritual connection, and that's being rewarded now. Some of you are going to be opening up a lot more to this spiritual connection. I feel like this divine masculine may be some of whoever's concerned about this person being toxic. I want you to put that out of your mind. Okay, I just want you to put that away. This person is not perfect. They've had a lot of issues, but there's a reason that they are connecting with you, and you are strong enough for this connection. This is someone who definitely at their foundation are choosing healing. They're choosing positivity. They're choosing peace. They're choosing love. They're choosing all this stuff. But if there's some kind of purity test about whether this person, how healed this person needs to be, I just feel like this is somebody who's seeking guidance, seeking wisdom. So some of you could be stepping into your wisdom, into your teaching, into your healing. And so this doesn't have to be any kind of love reading or anything. It can just be like a collective of the masculine is seeking the feminine for healing. Good. Others of you, this is your masculine. Tower. Six of Swords. Nine of Pentacles. I purposefully didn't look at the astrology for this week before I started doing this reading. And it was very obvious to me, like, just sit down and do the reading. We'll look at astrology later. Eight of Wands. Nine of Wands. See that conversation? There's a conversation with the wounds. There's a conversation with wounds. It's very obvious to you who's wounded. Okay? And the Three of Pentacles. This is somebody you can work with. This is somebody, some of you are opening up your mission, and those people that are coming to you are necessarily in need of healing. And I just get the feeling, so let me just try to get this out. In your twin flame connection or in relationships, you've done a very good job of boundaries, okay? Of being like, you know what? This is not for me. This is for me. This person is way too toxic or debilitated by their unhealed state. However, if you're putting yourself out there, I feel like you've blocked off this path to people who are seeking you for healing. Do you understand what the difference there? So you're going to need to modify boundaries in order to allow people to come toward you for healing. Temperance and the Ten of Wands. You don't have to do this all by yourself. When you do this, when you allow this collective of masculine energies, it's wounded masculine energy. So it can be in the body of a woman or man, or, anything in between. It can come in any package, any shape. All right. Doesn't matter. What you're doing is you're saying, I am available for healing. I am now stepping into my power and my sovereignty, and I can be in connection with people who are at various stages of their journey, or their enlightenment, or their healed or unhealed space. I can be in that space now. I spent a lot of time making, good boundaries and all of that. And now you have to kind of be able to not push that away so that you can be in your power. You're needing to stand in your power. When we talk about mediumship, which I will with the retreat group this week or next week, there is something called standing in the power. And that's part of opening up to souls that need help especially souls that have passed over. This is maybe or maybe not about mediumship, but this is definitely about being available to be a guide, a healer, a teacher for other seekers. Some of you have a very strong gift, and so those boundaries needed to be reciprocal. Those boundaries needed to be strong. And what I'm seeing here is that you may have made them too strong. Okay? So like nobody can get in. And what you're finding out now is that they need to be flexible. They need to allow you to be seen and shine your light. This doesn't need to be a fortress, Windsor Castle. That doesn't need to be a fortress. This needs to be something where those who are seeking you can find you. The Eight of Wands coming toward the Nine of Wands. And as someone who's been there, so we talk about spirit guides. A lot of times spirit guides are energies who have not become embodied on this planet. Ascended masters have been human. That's why they're ascended. Okay. And I'm seeing Archangel Michael here about sort of like saying to you, we got 3 9s here, right? We have 7, 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 9, 10. So the final card of this part of the reading is the 10 of Wands. And I also see the 10 of Swords up here. So we're coming to the end of a cycle. And part of it for you is about that good job. Hey, you've done the good job of building the boundaries. And now you have to be willing to let others in. 3 of Pentacles there. Letting a partner in, 6 of Swords, being of service, very Virgo energy. This could be, I could be speaking to the Pluto and Virgo generation, which is the younger baby boomers and most of Gen X. This is the time for you to be, if you have Pluto and Virgo, I don't know what the time, when it came into Virgo, so go look at your own chart, but Pluto and Virgo, walking people through this transformative time and being someone who has done that is going to be very empowering for those other people. Now, some of you also, there's a divine masculine that is coming toward you who is, it's not that they're not healed and they're seeking like as a vampire. That's not what this is. This is your divine masculine or a divine masculine entity, soulmate, coming forward for this final bit of healing. The 10. They're trying to put down a burden. They're trying to move on from a wound. And I feel like you're the one who can help them do that. Okay. So the 3 of Pentacles, the collaborative energy here. Whoa! Okay. The Emperor. 4 of Pentacles. Boy, a fortress. The Hierophant and the Queen of Swords. This is about being your own sovereign being and holding your own belief systems regardless of those around you. It's kind of like giving other people permission to have their own belief systems. It doesn't mean that yours are wrong. Same thing, vice versa. I feel like it's more vice versa. I feel like it's more like people who have wounded energy having to be, they're triggered by anybody who doesn't believe the same thing they believe. And so that is one of the things you're healing on this planet, is to help people recognize that perspectives, you know, does this perspective come from your experience? Something that's actually been in your life and you've been working on healing it, working on understanding it intellectually, but now embodying it as a practice in order to be the healer that you're here to be. Some of you are going to be instrumental on this planet with helping people who have calcified their belief systems to the degree that they can't talk about it or can't communicate in any way, shape, or form with anyone who doesn't absolutely believe them. that, or believe it the same way, that is going to become rigid, increasingly rigid, and that will blow up. Okay, that will blow up. Anybody with very, very rigid belief systems. Now, in the spiritual community, one of the things that I'm becoming increasingly aware of is the fluidity, the opposite, very opposite of rigidity, the fluidity of new information flowing through the readings as it relates to divine masculine, divine feminine, twin flame energy. This is not necessarily a twin flame reading. This is just much more about mission and purpose to be a communicator, a healer of communication, a healer of words. All right, I'm getting that. A healing of words. And there's also a sense of like the things that you have collected, the wisdom or the knowledge you have collected. It may be time that it's becoming too cumbersome, and it's needing to be released. So anything that stays with you is part of the future knowledge base that we're talking about here. Anything that just kind of moves away from you. So I've done I don't know how many twin flame readings, I don't know how many spiritual readings. And one of the things that I know about 2025 is that whatever you think you know, especially about the spiritual path or about where we are on the planet, may radically change over the next couple of years. And so let things, if they're not of your experience, if this is like something you read or someone told you or anything like that, I want you to start really trusting your own experience. And so this is not the same thing as if it's not happening to me, it's not happening. That's not the same thing. It is about tapping into the energy and wisdom of what's going on the planet, connecting with your spirit guides, and being aware of what is your path. Your path is not to have all of the lessons that are flooding onto the planet right now. It's not really your job to heal all of them or even be involved in all those conversations. Okay, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of issues out there. There's a lot of things that seemingly everything's happening all at once, which is exactly true. Everything is happening all at once. But what are you feeling drawn to? What kind of energy are you feeling drawn to? Some of you are feeling drawn to this energy of Gaia, of the earth, of helping to heal the earth or helping the earth heal itself. Some of you are being drawn to healing love and relationships. Some of you are feeling drawn to connecting more with the galactic realms and the spirit realms. Some of you are feeling drawn into the polarity that we're seeing in our political systems and everything like that. This is really a time for you to see the big picture and not get mired in the details. Step into this more big picture kind of perspective and allow wisdom to flow through you instead of being, sort of camping out in a belief system and like, this is my line in the sand. Really, that is dragging you into lower vibration. This is the truth, and I plant the flag here. This is more about dropping into the mystical heart. That's going to help you see the big picture of things. Because whenever you're hearing anybody who is really channeling a lot of pain or whatever, what they're doing, they're having a hard time processing their emotion. And so we're seeing that on the planet right now. People are having a very hard time processing their emotion. So they're channeling it through an experience that they are, I don't know, familiar with, but it's something that they're trying to create a container to make sense of things, and it's making things very small for them. So they're trying to create these containers because they want to feel safe and protected. And in reality, they're creating a shell for themselves. And so, and it's too rigid. And so it will need to be broken through. And that process is very challenging, to break through something rigid that we put around ourselves. And so I'm saying to you in the spiritual community that your job is not to create a shell for yourself, but rather more of a fluid kind of energy, to be able to be solid. Okay. But to be able to be, to have a protection without it becoming a cage. Okay. And I heard this last week, and I just want to say this to you. You cannot grow out of a cage if you're still trying to decorate it. Okay. Meaning that we create these cages for ourselves, or create these shells for ourselves, and we say we want to grow and we want to expand beyond it, but we still want to keep that cage or that protective shell around us. And this is saying to me that it's time to break through that shell, and that could be, for some of you, could be very challenging. For others, it's a much more like a shedding of a layer. Okay, so that you can stand here while you get a lot of energy coming toward you from other people's pain and energy, and you're kind of just like Wonder Woman bracelets. Like she's not in full armor, right? She's got these bracelets that can pow pow, like bang off things when we need to. And this is a stark reminder, or a stark differentiation, from when someone becomes so insular and so rigid in their own bubble of things that they cannot see beyond that. That is where a lot more of the breaking through is going to be hardest. Okay, so you're not protecting yourself by doing that. Archangel Michael is here to help you do this. This Nine of Swords. Anxiety, worry. It's time to move away from that. The Queen of Wands, so Two of Wands, Queen of Wands, Three of Cups, and then the Star card. So you see how this is the healer, and she is not wearing anything. She doesn't need to, because she has this healing capability. There's no need to keep ourselves protected behind castle walls. No need. No need. And so this is a call to communicate and be available, because we are going to be going through a time when a lot of people are going to be realizing that their bubbles are so rigid that the world is moving in such a way that those bubbles are going to be smashed open. Okay. So I will continue on with this reading. If this is for you, I will go deeper into the twin flame story. I will go deeper into the soulmate story, because I do feel like for some of you, this is going to be very, very personal kind of experience. And it is time to, try something new and do something different, and really start trusting yourself a lot more. All right. Link is below if you want to continue on with this conversation. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.